Hello, my name is Tom Dahlberg and I am the President and CEO of the Dahlberg Health Caring Leadership Group. Welcome to Game Faith. Today you will meet Lisa Delong. Lisa is a registered nurse with insights from both sides of the curtain, that of caregiver and of patient. Lisa has lived every parent's biggest nightmare. 2 sons with cancer, one in spirit and one in physical. Over 20 years ago, Lisa found herself at the bedside of her teenage son saying these words, "Let him go." Now her greatest joy is to guide others to let go of fear, self-doubt, and worry, and to embrace the freedom of spiritual exploration. I learned of Lisa through the Gratitude Symposium hosted by Quint Studer, where she shared messages of hope and spirit. And right away, I knew she had game faith. Listen in, be encouraged, and be inspired. It is game time. It is game faith time.
This is what game faith looks like to me. I have a memory of being a gymnast in my junior high years, a long time ago. And I was on the beam ready to do an aerial in a competition. An aerial is a cartwheel with no hands. And I remember my coach being next to me and him coaching me on. And I froze. And I just was so afraid. I thought I was going to hurt myself if I did this trick. And I did gather my courage and get it done. But I put one hand on the beam, got both feet on the beam, and then I fell off. What I discovered with this experience is I felt a lot of shame and guilt and like I didn't do it right. But after a while, I realized that this inner knowing was coming up, that I didn't want to take those risks. I didn't want to risk hurting myself and harming my body. And so I decided to let go of competing as a gymnast, and I became a cheerleader in high school, and it was so much more fun. I did aerials on the ground, and I did cartwheels and round off back handsprings, and every time there was a football or a two-point score on the basketball team, and it was so much fun, and I enjoyed it very much. And so what I learned from that is that I have this inner guidance system, just as you do, that is teaching us and guiding us all the time. It's part of being human. It's part of being alive. And I'm so glad that I learned this when I did, because when my oldest son, Justin, made his transition out of physical, the grief experience was so profound that I found myself asking God to let me die in my sleep. And as you can imagine, this was a very difficult time to navigate through these dark, dark days. And what I discovered is that I had a dream about Justin's passing the night before he actually passed. And that dream was what anchored my faith in something beyond this physical world. And that dream helped me to trust and build my muscles, my spiritual muscles. And that dream cracked me open to more spiritual experiences. And I learned to trust that. And faith is a practice. It takes getting used to who we are, and in our spiritual receptivity, who we are in our faith, and change our perceptions sometimes from what A Course in Miracles calls a miracle, is when it's a change in perception. So that experience certainly helped me to change my perceptions. And I'm so glad it did, because 6 years later, my younger son, Jacob, was also diagnosed with the same kind of leukemia as his brother. And he also had a near-death experience. And at that time, I felt a sense of peace pour over me and a profound knowing that he would live. And he did. And it is this spiritual receptivity, this inner guidance system, that is my game faith. It's how I navigate my life. And one thing I know for sure is that life is our greatest teacher. This breath that breathes us into being and animates us throughout our lifetime is carrying us and teaching us. Some call it spirit, some call it energy. In my experience, it is my faith. And it has allowed me to thrive and blossom in a way that is without harming myself, just like that cartwheel experience. And I think this Lakota prayer says what I'm trying to convey better than I can. So join me in listening. And it goes like this. Great mystery, teach me how to trust my heart, my mind, my intuition, my inner knowings, the senses of my body, and the blessings of my spirit. Teach me these things so that I may enter my sacred space and love beyond my fear, and thus walk in balance with the passing of each glorious sun. Amen and Aho.